Here we have a new 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. And this one comes in the LT trim level, 2-wheel drive. This beautiful color is going to be the glacier blue metallic. And then our interior is going to consist of jet black cloth. And for the powertrain, we get that standard 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8. Made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And as we come around to the front end here, we do have that refreshed end that came late 2022. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights as well. Really like the grille for the LT. You got the gloss black here, and just how it kind of complements the chrome and the badge itself. And I love having that chrome front bumper as well. Really nice look without having to pay 70 grand. And then down here, 20-inch aluminum wheels. We get passive keyless entry on the front 2 doors. And then I just really like how everything is simple here, but it doesn't look super cheap. So we've got that faux wood grain here, and even though this is black plastic, really nice look, looks really refined, really sleek. Power door lock controls, power windows. We have a one-touch up and down for the driver's side. Then we also have our power mirror controls here, and we can lock our windows there. And then here we have our headlamp controls. And then this here is how you actually toggle through your drive modes. So you have 3 modes on this LT, just normal, sport, and then snow and ice. And then you can hit that button for the tow haul mode. Electronic parking brake there. And there is our front driver's seat. We get power with power lumbar support. And before we check out the back seat room, let's go ahead and take a look at this window sticker. So all the standard features there. And there are all the options. For those of you that don't like the dynamic fuel management, this one does have it. There's our sticker price, $53,910. Let's hop in here and check out the leg room. So I've done plenty of Silverado reviews, and per usual, plenty of space in this full-size truck here. I'm 6'3", have probably about 4 inches of headroom, and then I have a couple of inches between my kneecaps and the back of the seat here. So very impressive. And then over here, we have rear AC vents with the 3-prong 120-volt household plug in there. Then we have a USB-C and a USB-A charging port. See if I can adjust that lighting. So I like that in this LT that you get those features. Especially for your rear seat passengers, they will appreciate you. Let's go ahead and check out the back. And this takes regular fuel. We just have a fuel filler there. And there's our back end there. And we just have the standard tail lights, no LEDs. Then the easy fold tailgate there. But I do like that we have the LED bed lights, and then we also have another 120 volt right there. Let's come around this front passenger seat here. So we get a 10-way power driver's seat, and then we just have the manual. I believe it's a 4-way front passenger seat. But like I said before, really like the blue. Just, it really makes everything pop on this truck. If I were to get one, this would be my #1 color choice, definitely. But let's go ahead and pop the hood. And it's mostly covered up, but there's that 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8. But now let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So really like the leather wrap steering wheel, and being able to get that heated wheel as well makes a huge difference, especially on days like today where it's pretty cold outside. And then here, of course, from the new 2022s, we have the carryover of the 13.4-inch Google Assistant infotainment system. So there's our home page there. And then when properly equipped, you can have your trailer stuff set up here. So trailer light test is what you get on this one. And then we do have Google Maps, and I think you get a certain trial period, but then you have a subscription, which I've said in other reviews I didn't like at first, but it's better than paying $600 if you're not going to use it, and just being able to use it for however much a month. Let's say you're just taking 2 road trips a year or whatever. It actually saves you money. And then for the audio, we get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth audio, and then we have podcasts, Google News, and then we also have wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay compatibility too. There's the backup camera there. Of course, the guidelines follow as you turn the steering wheel. And then down here, we have our lane departure, auto stop, tailgate, hazards, traction controls, and we can roll all the windows down. Quick shortcuts there. I really like how they did that. And then down here, we have our dual zone automatic climate controls. And then we have 3-stage heated seats for either the seat back or the seat bottom in the seat back. And then we have a USB-A, USB-C port there. And then if you don't want to use the knobs down here, you do have the option of using climate controls up top. And they're actually really intuitive, really fast. So I actually might use that. I would just usually keep my audio up there, but if you don't have to see what's going on and you also have the option of putting it over here too, it'll be nice to have that climate on a touch screen. And then for our center console, also known as our 6th seat when we need it, pretty good space in there. Then you have little storage cup holders there, and then another pocket there. And then to fold the seat up, you just pull up on this strap here, and then there's your 6th seat. And then pull it again. Actually, you only need to pull it when you're pulling it down, not when you're folding it up. And there's a look at the back seat from up here. And going to the glove compartment, we do have the top one here. You just hit that button there. Decent size storage for papers or whatever, or if you just have an extra set of gloves, whatever. And then you have a lockable standard glove compartment there. And then we also have an owner's manual in here too. So going back to the steering wheel, we're gonna get a little in depth here. It's our cruise controls here, standard. We have a forward collision gap adjust. We can adjust that there. The heated steering wheel toggle. And then to the right side, we have voice recognition, and then a mute button here. And then these 2 arrows along with this scroll bar, we can actually use for our digital gauge cluster that we get. And plenty of info page options I really like, because I like to see fuel economy and how much is left in the tank, all of that. So we can just click there. Let me go back. And then we can actually set what we want to show. So I like that. And then behind the steering wheel on the left side, we have our track list or radio station favorite controls. We can toggle that. And then on the right side, we have our volume. We can toggle that there. And then windshield wiper controls here. Automatic high beams there. And then for our shifter, standard column, hit the brake, pull, reverse, neutral, drive, low mode, and then we can shift there. While in low mode, it'll show up the bottom right there. Get this out of snow and ice, put it back into normal. And there we have our push button start. And finally, here's our key fob with remote start. So that's just a quick overlook of the 23 Silverado 1500 LT. And next we're gonna go ahead and take it out on the road for a quick test drive. So really like just how smooth the 10-speed automatic is. Even after giving it a cold start, I drove this vehicle a couple of days ago and my audio went out halfway through the video, so I had to redo it. So I just hopped in here, and just really impressive that even like it's cold out today, the powertrain's only been heated up for about a minute, so it's still not all the way to what we like to have it, but it's still doing a really good job shifting. So like I've said about the 5.3, very, very good engine just in terms of power. It's not as fast as a 6.2 liter, but for most people, especially if you haven't driven a 6.2, you're going to be very pleased with this setup. We're cruising here at 70. We're getting right at that 22, 23 mile per gallon threshold. Brake feels really good too. And it's actually really quiet in here, and the camera might be shaking just how it is on my head on this off ramp, but the ride is not that harsh. Of course, off ramps are pretty bumpy, so it's not smooth, but really good for a truck. And there's the auto stop that just came on. And I will say, I'll edit it out in this video, but I had to sit through 2 red lights due to the traffic being messed up for some construction or whatever. And it was nice that the auto stop came on both times, even though it's super cold outside. But where the sun's shining, it's actually pretty tempered here in the cabin, so I'm very pleased with just how much gas I saved as opposed to having the engine run for 5 minutes while I was sitting there doing nothing. And I just love how, for a big truck, it's hard to find. These days it's not, but it used to be kind of difficult. You get behind the wheel of a truck, you felt like you were driving a big rig if you were used to driving a car or a small SUV, but this really doesn't drive big. It just, the suspension feels nice. Overall, just how the steering wheel feels, very Tahoe-like. And I just like how maneuverable this truck is, even though it's longer than most other vehicles, especially passenger vehicles. But I just don't feel dangerous driving this, if that makes sense. And just a really smooth ride down this stretch of road here. Very impressed. And in terms of comfort, even though the seats are cloth, you do get the heated option. And if you don't want to pay extra for the leather, these will do you just fine. Me personally, I would pay a little extra and just get leather seats. But if you're used to cloth, you will be pleasantly surprised by how nice these seats are. And with the hood being sloped down, visibility is good ahead of me. So just a really good option if you're in the market for a full-size pickup truck. And this will bring me to the end of my review of the 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 LT.